Are you an old soul? What it means 50 clear signs in 2023. Do you feel you are old beyond your years? Have you felt you don't quite fit in and can't relate to people your own age? Then you could be an old soul. In this article you will learn 50 old soul signs. If you agree with 20 or more of the signs, then you are definitely an old soul. So take out a paper and pen and let's do this. What does it mean to have an old soul? To have an old soul means that you are wise beyond your years and have lived many lifetimes. Technically, we are all old souls as we have all lived several lifetimes. However, some souls have lived more lifetimes than others. It's not only about the amount of lifetimes though. It's also about how much you have grown as a soul in these lifetimes. Many old souls are starseeds and have had lifetimes on other planets than Earth. You can read more about starseeds here. Watch the video to find out the top signs or scroll down and read all 50 old soul signs, 50 old soul signs. So how do you know if you are an old soul? Read the signs below and take note of how many resonate with you. 1. You feel older than your physical age. Ever since early childhood, you have felt older and more mature than other people your age. You might have had childlike energy, and still have, but you felt wiser than your peers. This is perhaps one of the most important of the old soul signs. 2. You feel comfortable in your own company. You have no problems being alone, you actually love it. While for some people it would be torture spending a whole weekend alone, you love it, reading, doing your creative hobbies, cooking your favorite foods and dancing like nobody is watching. What is there not to like? 3. You would rather stay in than go out a Saturday night. When the weekend comes around you would rather spend the night watching Netflix with popcorn than hit the clubs. 4. You love reading and educating yourself. You have always had a thirst for knowledge and wisdom. You are a bookworm and love taking courses online, watching educational YouTube videos and reading blog posts, like you're doing now. 5. You hate today's dating culture, with short-term flings, one-night stands and dating apps. 6. You are spiritual. You might not be religious but you are interested in all things spiritual, yoga, healing, tarot cards, crystals etc. You believe that we are spiritual beings living a human experience. When there is something you desire you use the law of attraction to manifest it. For more information about this universal law and how to manifest using paper and pen, check out this article. 7. You value freedom and have a hard time working in a traditional office job, as it makes you feel trapped. You might have thought about becoming an entrepreneur or digital nomad, so you can travel the world and be your own boss. If this sounds like you, check out my article of 99 digital nomad jobs. 8. You feel you have a life purpose. You have always felt like you are here on an important mission, even if you don't know what yet. You just feel it's something big that will help humanity and Mother Gaia in some way. However, you feel guided and supported on your life path by a higher power. If you want to learn more about your purpose and soul path, I recommend getting this soul reading. 9. You want to activate your psychic abilities. Telekinesis, telepathy, third eye awakening, give it to me. 10. You like to give back. It makes you sad thinking about starving children, how we are destroying our planet and the animals, and you want to help. Perhaps you have been doing volunteering, work for an NGO or donate monthly to a charity. When you hear about injustice you might share it on social media. 11. You have met people who you feel you have known for lifetimes, even though you've only known them for a few weeks. 12. You are a minimalist. Either you have never cared much about material things or there came a point in your life when you realized that a clutter-free home leads to a clutter-free mind. Perhaps you then went on a sale frenzy and decided to sell all stuff you don't use. 13. You often experience synchronicities. You experience lots of strange, magical coincidences and meeting the right person at the right time. You might be seeing 1111 and other angel numbers. You can read more about your numerology here, on clocks, number plates. Everywhere. 14. You can see behind people's masks, and you really value genuineness in people. 15. You love animals. Most people like animals, but you sometimes like them more than people. You love their pure spirits and that they don't have an agenda or judge you, and contrary to most people who only like cute animals like puppies and kittens, you appreciate all animals, even the less pretty ones. You are strictly against factory farming and animal abuse, and you feel guilty eating meat. You are vegetarian, have been thinking about becoming vegetarian or switching to organic meat. 16. You are curious. You were one of those kids who kept asking questions until they drove their parents mad. Even to this day you are still curious and love learning new things. 17. You worry about what other people think about you. You don't feel very comfortable being in situations where you are the center of attention. For example, holding a speech or hosting a party, you are worried people will not find you interesting or appear weird. For me, this resulted in being a perfectionist in school and I was terrified of getting bad grades. 18. You see the value in meditation and you want to make it a daily habit, if it isn't already. 19. You tend to overthink. You think about everything and you are not one of those people who talk before they think. You have a tendency to overanalyze things, which sometimes leads to dwelling on a problem for longer than necessary and lack of action. 20. You are a bit of a rebel. You don't blindly trust the government and their rules or the religion you were born into. 21. You are a history buff. You love learning about history and you are probably drawn to certain time periods in ancient civilizations such as ancient Egypt, Lemuria, or Atlantis. 22. You are sensitive. You are a HSP, highly sensitive person, which means you process information deeper than most. You also absorb people's emotions easily, which often leaves you emotionally exhausted by the end of the day. You are probably also sensitive to stimulants like caffeine. And if you drink coffee in the evening, your night's sleep is literally ruined. 23. You don't want to control others. Controlling and manipulating people is not in your nature. 24. You had a hard time fitting in at school. You felt like an outsider in school and didn't quite fit in with your classmates. You might even have been bullied or made fun of. You probably just vibed with one or two people in your class, if any. 25. You feel deeply moved by music. 26. You've had a dark night of the soul. You have had a spiritual crisis or depression at least one time in your life. A detox and a dip all people experience on their spiritual journey before they can wake up. It can be triggered by things like meeting your twin flame, taking a psychedelic like ayahuasca, or finding out about the negative powers who rule Earth and the red flag events they have orchestrated. You feel sad, helpless, and reflect inwards, and you ask things like, why am I here? What is my purpose? What's the meaning of life? 27. You have a good intuition. You are highly intuitive. You trust your gut feeling and tend to take decision based on it rather than creating pros and cons lists. 28. You are an introvert. In contrast to extroverts who get energized by being around other people, you charge your battery by being alone or with your partner. Walking around in a big city or dancing in clubs are draining to you. Even just spending your day in the office leaves you exhausted when you come home. You are often quiet and reserved when you are in a group, especially if you don't know them. 29. You have a feeling that Earth is not your true home. 30. You love being in nature. You love hiking and taking forest walks. You love summer when you can walk around barefoot, grounding, on the beach or grass, and you find it very healing. 31. You want to know the meaning of life. Ever since you were a kid you have been asking yourself what the meaning of life is. 32. You are the coach in your friend group. Your friends and family members come to you when they need help with a difficult situation. It could be that they seek love advice, business advice, or general life advice. You are the coach in your friend group and you generally love helping them. 33. You understand the importance of forgiveness. You know that it's not good to hold grudges and that it's hurting you more than the offender, so you try to let go of hurt, anger, and resentment to whoever has hurt you in the past. 34. You like hanging out with people who are older than you. Since you feel older than people your own age, you probably have friends who are older than you. You might also have a tendency to pick partners who are older than you. 35. You feel wiser than your parents. Even though your parents are older than you, you might feel that they have many limiting beliefs and are not as wise and superior to you as they feel they are. I used to follow my parents' advice blindly. However, now that I am paving my own path, they are not always supportive of my choices and believe they know best. 36. You are a red pill person. If you were in the Matrix movie, you would take the red pill. You don't blindly believe mainstream media's narrative. You find society hostile and hate wars and corruption. 37. You are a good listener. You prefer to listen rather than talk. Extroverts love your company, as they won't be interrupted by another extrovert inserting their opinion before they have finished their sentence. 38. You are compassionate. You are a very kind and loving person, and wouldn't want to hurt anyone intentionally. 39. you always want to grow. You read self-development books and you always strive to grow as a person, in all areas of your life. 40. You have had a spiritual awakening. You have woken up to life and realized that nothing outside of you can bring you true happiness. As a result, you might be experiencing 5D ascension symptoms. 41. You're all about the small things. Watching the sun rise in early morning, the green tea you are sipping on, having a bath after a long day, these little things mean so much to you and you really appreciate these moments of joy. 42. You are a hopeless romantic. You love films like The Notebook, Avatar and Titanic. You believe in the one, and that you have met them or will meet them in this lifetime. 43. You can silence your ego. You are good at distinguishing what's coming from the ego versus the soul, and you try to listen more to the soul than the desires of the ego like materialistic things and short-term pleasures. 44. You are highly creative. You are always bursting with new ideas you want to try and you have a creative hobby you enjoy such as painting, writing or playing an instrument. 45. You know your body is a shell for your soul. You believe the soul lives on after this life. On the topic of body, you might wonder if there are any old soul physical appearance signs, and the answer is no. You can often see the wisdom in their eyes but there is no specific hair color, skin color, height, etc. 46. You are positive and thankful. Your cup is always half full and not half empty. You believe you are the creator of your own reality and not a victim of your circumstances. You feel grateful for this life and might even have a gratitude journal. 47. You want to make the world a better place. You want to have made an impact on the world before you die. 48. You believe we are all one. You believe we are all interconnected and we are all part of the one divine source that is love. 49. You love vintage products. You love going into second-hand shops and antique stores, and would choose it any day over a busy shopping mall. You love things that have a history. 50. You are reading this. You probably wouldn't have clicked on this blog post if it wasn't a vibrational match to who you are. FAQ. Are old souls rare? Old souls are rare but less rare than you might think. Never have so many souls incarnated on Earth at the same time. Some speculate that around 10 to 15% of the Earth population consists of old souls. We're living in a time that is mentioned in the Bible and many other religious texts, the spiritual dark ages, the time leading up to the golden age. The reason why so many old souls are here is to help humanity transition from the 3D to the 5D and because of the soul growth that comes from that. Is it good to be an old soul? Having an old soul means you have a strong intuition, powerful energy and are not easily brainwashed, which are all good things. However, old souls tend to feel more alone than the rest of humanity and that they don't fit in. They also have agreed to big life missions, which means they might experience more challenges on Earth than the life of an average Joe. Why do old souls suffer? Since old souls are a minority, it's harder for them to find friends on the same high frequency. Old souls need a lot of alone time, which further makes it difficult to find their tribe. When they do go out, they quickly feel drained and want to leave. Since many old souls have had lives in more advanced civilizations, they find it hard to live on a planet full of violence, poverty and suffering. Conclusion. Did you agree with 20 or more of the old soul signs? Congratulations, you are an old soul. As you know, life as an old soul on Earth is not always easy, but now you know why you feel different. You know that you have important mission on Earth and are here for a reason. You wouldn't have said yes to your mission if you didn't think you would make it. If you feel alone, then it probably means you don't have enough old soul friends. Make it your mission to find your old soul tribe. In meetup groups, Facebook groups, you can find old souls everywhere. And now you know how to spot them. Do you think you are an old soul? And what does it mean to have an old soul for you? Let me know in the comments.